So today I went to Culture Shock Comics in First Colony Mall, and I talked to a worker named David. I was going to do a video of him, like an interview, but he didn't want to be videoed, so I just asked him a couple questions and I wrote them down, and here's his answers. So the first one was, how does the grade given impact the resale price? He said it can double the price if it's given a good grade. So that means like if you have a good comic book, like Action Comics, that's ungraded and you resell it, you can only sell it for so much. But if you give it a good grade, if a good grade's given, it's like sealed still, then the price can shoot up drastically. The second one was, what do graders look for when grading comic books? So he said, I'm gonna show you a comic book, and he said they look at the spine mostly and see if it's like rigid or if there's any creases, like you can kind of see in this one. There's little creases. So if the spine's intact, and then he said weathering, like on the books, see like the sides of the front page or like a little crook or a little creased or something, or the color's a little off, they look for that. And then they just look at the front and back. So I thought that comic books were graded like based on the inside of the book also, but he's like, no, most graders will just look at the front and back. So that's something I learned from him. And then the third question was, how does a character significance impact the resale price on a good comic book? So he said, popularity of the character is very important. Like if it's like the character's first appearance, like in the Spider-Man book when Venom had his first appearance, that book resold a lot, and the company DC found out that Venom's a popular character, so they made their own spin-off of Venom. And yeah. The last question I asked him was, what happens if a graded comic is open? So I'm big into baseball cards, and he also collects baseball cards from what I found out from him. And he said if they're open, the grade given is no longer matters. But some people do this to try to rescind it in and receive a better grade. So this is kind of a risk you're taking once you crack open it. And because that grade no longer matters, you can either damage the book, like because it's not easy to open, it doesn't just snap open, or you could receive a worse grade. So this is kind of like high risk, high reward kind of thing, because if you get a better grade, then the book will resell for more. So it's just a risk you're taking. All right, next, I have a couple books here, and I'm gonna go over each book, and I've done some research like how they grade comics, so I'm gonna do that. So first one, we have Marvel Superheroes Secret Wars. So this is an older book, and it is number 8 in 12 issue limited series, so it's a limited series. This book probably would receive a lower grade, more of like a 5 or 4, because the coloring's a little off, as you can see in the top. The book on the back is like, it's a little damaged on the back. The spine is not in the best shape, but it's still like a readable book for sure. And yeah. Next, we're gonna go with a little better condition book. This is The Amazing Spider-Man. Great book. This one, you can see it has all of its color, so that's really good. That's like one thing that you can look for. The spine is not really creased except for a little bit at the bottom. So yeah, the edges are pretty firm. No creasing, nothing happening with the edges on the front or back. So that's good. I would probably give this one more of like an 8.5, because it's in way better condition. And what David said, based on like if they just do the outside cover, because I was like, what if there's missing pages? And he's like, well, they don't really look at the inside, because this can make sense in like 2 ways. One, because like that's like all that matters when you're collecting a book, it doesn't really matter the inside. Or 2, because when it's in the seal, when like it's graded in the seal, you can't look at the pages inside when it's like in the seal, because you can't open the seal. So I guess that matters a lot. All right, our third book, we have Battlestar Galactica. This one is the worst condition one that I've seen out of the 3 that I've done, or the 2 I've done. The spine has a little damage on the bottom, a little tear. One One staple's kind of pushed in a little bit. As you can see, like in the middle, it's a little flimsy, little cut on the outside. There's a little nick right here, and all up and down, like it's a little discolored, so that's not really great for reselling. This corner is like a little folded over, so it's like creased up a little bit right there, and that's just wear over time. Like if you don't have these books put in a protective seal, like they're gonna have wear and tear. So yeah, I would probably give this one more of like a 3.5, 2.5 to 3.5, because it's just not in the greatest condition. As you can see. So that's the worst one that we've had so far. And then we have The New Mutants. This book, good book. This one's in better condition. The coloring's not off really in the front. The back has a little bit, I think there's a little watermark or something right there, so that'll definitely affect the grade. The spine's in good condition, just a couple creases. Nothing too crazy though. The staples are all intact well, so that's a good thing. The edges are pretty sharp on the front and back, except the bottom has a little wear right there. So I'd probably give this one more of a 6.5, because they're pretty harsh on these grades. Like if they're not in good condition, it's hard to get a good grade with these. All right, now we have Spider-Man and Wonder Woman. This is a good book because it shows Wonder Woman in a time like girl superheroes weren't very common, but this one's not in great condition. This corner right here has a bunch of creases. You can see probably just from over time being laid in the wrong spot. The edge down here has some crease, you can see. Inside's a little wear and tear, but David said that they don't do the inside, so yeah. Color's a little off. There's a little tear right here. That's not good, but the staples and stuff are really good. So this one probably around a 5 to 6 is what I would grade it on based on what the research I've done. And then our last book, Marvel Fanfare. This one's in good condition. You can feel the paper is super strong still. Definitely has its color, which is good. I guess this is more of a newer model. The staples are in. There's a little crease in the bottom on the back, so that's not good for sure. But all the colors there, staples, lines are better. This one probably more of a 7 is what I would give it. I don't know, but yeah. All right, so wrap up. We have our best condition one, The Amazing Spider-Man. And then our worst condition one would definitely have to be Battlestar Galactica. So yeah. And then some other things that David told me was JSA bought CSC grading. So now all the comic book graders and the like baseball cards and football cards, basketball cards, all of those, the two companies collided together. So now it's all like graded together, which is really cool because I'm a baseball card collector. So yeah. And then one more thing, the restore process so if you have a good book and you want to get it restored, it costs a lot of money, but if it's a rare comic book, what they would do is, like, say for this book, they would try to remove some dirt or they have like machines to try to get out the creases a little bit. And it's just like these little things that's super hard. It's kind of risk reward because you could risk messing up the color a little more, but then also you could risk, or you could have reward and get a better condition for a better grade, because like you would do that for more of a rare book because it's a hard process. It's a tedious process for sure. So like Action Comics 1 or the Batman 181 with Wolverine. So those are two like significant books. That book's really significant. Like David was talking about the Spider-Man with Venom making an appearance. That's when Wolverine made his first appearance. So that book was loved because people like new characters, and Wolverine was a big hit, and he got his own spin-off from that. So yeah, Thank you, David. Thank you for the interview, and have a great day.